Hi, welcome hobbyists to Valentine's Day edition of Hobby Hotline. And with me for this week's episode, I've got none other than Uncle Rich Klein in Orlando, a collector's dream, two favorites in the hobby. So how are both of you guys doing on this fine Saturday?
Hey, it's a rainy day in DFW area. So it's a nice day just to stay inside and stay warm. I actually turned the heat on. I don't live in paradise like Orlando does.
Well, it's totally different here. It's a beautiful sunny day. I've got the AC on. I just went out for a walk and just got back like about a few minutes before we signed on. So, but I had a good walk listening to a lot of the YouTube stuff. It's fun.
Is there enough good YouTube stuff now? Apologize to non community YouTubers. It is, Hall of Fame season. So it is flooded with the not enjoyable to watch for someone not in the community Hall of Fame videos. So,
yeah, I was watching some of those nominations and got a whole crew of my buddies out in California getting together for the West Coast Card Show. It's a big show out there. So Greg from Midlife just put out a video there with a bunch of guys. Dylan is out there, Pepino Man is out there, and
I think Tony was coming out
Tony
from Tennessee.
Southern Collector, and a ton of guys are out there, almost kind of like they do at Philly, just a get together.
Yeah, it should be nice. So, you guys got anything on your plans for this weekend outside of this show?
I have actually, because it's going to rain. It's going to rain all day. If my wife and I do anything, it'll be tomorrow night instead of battling tonight. And my synagogue's monthly brotherhood breakfast will be tomorrow morning. So my social life is,
Yeah, I'll be probably going out to dinner, taking my wife out. Been married now over 45 years, so I think some things like that you got to do.
Well, we are very practical in this household. We're okay not actually going out on Valentine's Day. Or if we do, we'll do something lighter, and then we'll save a better dinner so when they're not jacking up the prices.
Yeah, my wife and I are 27 years, and I think it's going to be a weekend of doing home projects. So it's very romantic. So
yeah, for me, I got almost like a triple header coming up. It's Valentine's Day. Next weekend is her birthday, and the following weekend is our anniversary.
Wow, so, that happens to me in June. My birthday is 15 days before our anniversary. So a lot of times, a lot of decent places send you birthday coupons. Well, let's just do good anniversary dinners because I just use those. As I said, we're practical. Yeah. And hey, if I can save $50 on an expensive dinner, and we still get the good dinner, I'm all in favor of that. Hey, got to save money for the cards.
Exactly. You can do a lot of damage for $50 in the dollar boxes.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I found some good the last dollar boxes. The funny story is the guy's telling me, and he had posted on Facebook, he had put a whole bunch of vintage into the dollar boxes. There might be some high numbers in there. And as I think I pointed out in the last show, there were about 1561 high numbers in probably five or six condition in there. It's like, thank you. That pays for everything I picked up from that box.
Well, I gave us enough time to get some people into the show, so now I think it's time to say hi to the chat out there. We got some of our regulars. Melissa, hello. Sports Card Queen, good morning.
That's Rhonda.
Peter. Phil Necrofan, good morning. Chris C4264, welcome. Ruben Snyder, Confluence Cards, welcome. The Chippendales crew, I don't think so, sir.
No, we are the mature Chippendales crew.
Okay. Yes, sure. Foul Ball, good morning. Mad City Brew, we got Andy's Attic, Philly Joe. Mookie Chilson in the house. Adams Card Closet. Have yourself a chipper day. Hammer 44. Good morning. Greg's Cards. And I think we're caught up. There we go. So it is a calmer hobby week this week, isn't it? Without any crazy, ultra crazy controversies. So we got some milder topics for this week's episode than what's been happening over the last few months. But to start things out, we have got some new pricing and turnaround times posted by some folks would say the evil empire. Other folks are completely dedicated fans, but it is none other than PSA. If you haven't seen it, I've got it ready to share on screen what they've done now. So their value bulk went up $21.99, $24.99. Value went up $5. Value plus up $5. Value max $5. Regular $5. And their turnaround times for the ones they actually post have gone up 5 days a piece. And as per usual, I guess value bulk and value is 9 months to a year. I don't know what the hell they're doing these days, but yeah. So is this much of a story, or is this just going to be business as usual and they rake in more dollars? I mean, thoughts, Orlando?
Yeah, definitely a way to rake in more dollars. These guys, I don't care what you say, but it's pretty much a monopoly now. They can do whatever they want. And it just seems like, they found an opportunity to, raise the prices. And if they get in a little bit less cards, that's okay with them, because they're just overloaded, over flooded with the amount of business that they're getting. So, for us regular guys, it hurts. I mean, $5, even though I don't submit, but the people that do regularly submit, $5 per card, adds up to a lot of money, and holding their cards for, I mean, you can imagine probably 6 months or so, even though they say their turnaround time is less. You're not going to get your cards back within, especially if the value bulk. It's going to take another 6 months for you to get your cards. So to be without your cards for 6 months, I think that's ridiculous, and continue to raise the prices. But people will continue to pay. They'll continue to send them the business. And what I think it will do is people will begin to send cards in at the higher levels to get them back, especially the guys that are going to be flipping cards, the modern cards. They're going to be paying additional money, and of course, all that eventually passes on to the consumer. If somebody's got to pay another 10, 20, or $30 more to get their card graded, they're going to just jack up the price of the card they're going to sell. And with all the stuff being opened, it's, I think it's just going to continue to feed the beast, as they say. And, they have people like, for example, Backyard Breaks. They're in Boca. They're about a mile away from the PSA, graded. Well, what used to be the SGC, which is now PSA's building. And, my understanding is that they'll break the cards and they'll go ahead and take them over and get them graded. And they get them graded in less than a week. Because they have special deal with them and pay a lot of money to get them graded, because the cards they're going to pull out of packs, they're going to flip them. So these flippers want these cards graded and get their 10s right away so they can flip them and be the first to market. And as long as they have people like that will pay, the higher rate to get them back within a few days, which Backyard Breaks is one of the biggest breakers out there, and they're sending them hundreds of cards every week. They'll do that. But what that does is that will slow up all of the value bulk regular submission guys, because they'll continue to get flooded with that. And now with the Pokemon, which they're grading, it used to be about half Pokemon, and it's almost like 3/4 of their cards now
Oh yeah, I saw last month's
our
gem rate
Pokemon.
numbers.
Yeah.
It's gone nuts.
It's ridiculous. So those are easy to grade for them, with the rounded corners, and most of them get 9s or 10s. Most of them are going to get 10s, and people can continue to send them in, and they're just raking in the dough. And I don't think it's going to make any difference in the submission rate. It's just going to hurt the person that's doing the value sub, the guys that don't have the big bucks to to pay the faster submission and stuff like that. So it's always what always happens. The little guys suffer longer wait times, more money, but the guys that do the flipping and all that stuff, they don't care. They'll make their money, and PSA will continue to prosper.
Thanks, Orlando. Any differing opinions or anything else to interject on this one, Rich?
As I pointed out in our Green Room chat before this, and this was also noted on several of the YouTube videos that I watched or listened to, Beckett at the last Dallas Card Show raised their raw card review price from $25 to $65. Now, you would think price jumps like that would mean that nobody would be bringing cards in. And as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. The line literally took hours on Thursday night, and they were jammed the entire weekend with people bringing in cards to Beckett. It was absolutely bonkers. I thought for sure, okay, they're going to have less people. No, not even close. We'll buy the cards. We'll sell the cards. We'll still be doing graded cards. And one thing that will never happen again, and this is kind of sad, but pre-pandemic, in Orlando, you'll know this better than I was. What was it, like $6 or $8 in bulk for PSA cards? We will never see that pricing again.
No.
And that is a fact of life. This is capitalism. You have to do things to meet your demand. When I first started at ComC in 2017, 9 years ago, we were charging $0.25 a card to process cards. If we charged $0.25 a card today to process cards, we would lose money on the processing of the cards. Sometimes you have to raise your prices just to stay in business. Now, I can't say what's going on, but PSA has a lot of employees. They have a lot of offices. They have a lot of overhead. And I'm going to kind of go back to my Beckett days when I say this. We had about a 50% success rate in getting, when I was working in the price guide division, we had about a 50% success rate of analysts. About 50% became good and about 50% washed out. Now, I'm not saying they all wash out. Boston Hunter did a great interview with a PSA grader, which when I listened to it, it wasn't anything controversial. Most of what he said made a lot of sense to me because I have sat, even though it was a long time ago, I did sit one afternoon a month or 2 afternoons a month in the Beckett grading room, helping basically with difficult verification. And his process and the process he told was basically correct. But he didn't stay. Not only do you have to get graders, you have to make sure they're good. You have to make sure they stick. You have to make sure that they can handle the workload. And let's assume that the 50% not great success rate we had at Beckett is low for a grader. Maybe it's a 60% rate. You still then have to hire more graders. You have to train them, and that's an expense in itself. So on a corporate level, it sounds terrible for the consumer. And I'm sure Chris Carlin can explain this a lot better than I can, but it's sometimes things that have to be done just so a company can keep their head above water. Do we ever want to see PSA where they shut down their local post office system again and basically had the photo Nat Turner showed during the pandemic of all the boxes that weren't even close to being open sitting on the floor, and he had to shut down the submissions, which I thought was a terrible idea, but in retrospect was the right thing to do. I hate to say this, but we're not going back to those days. And we're not going back to those days where we're going to shut down a post office in a city either. You have to make calculated business decisions. as to how you stay in business. And that, for me, it doesn't really matter. I go in value boxes. It doesn't affect my life one way or the other. There are people it affects. And as Orlando pointed out, like, for example, Mr. Daniels, the Commanders quarterback, he started the year as one of those super hot quarterbacks. He got hurt. If you sent in a card at the beginning of the football season and you got it back now, the price is probably nowhere near where it was when you sent in the card. So there's got to, eventually the balance will come. Maybe someday the balance will even out and we get slightly lower prices again. But we're not going back to $6 and $8. We may end up back at 15, but it's a corporate thing. It's a business. It's capitalism. And I'm sorry for those people that can't do that. And believe me, I've priced out a lot of things in the hobby too I used to do. And it sucks, but life's like that.
All right. Remember, everyone, this is a call-in show, and we have a special call-in right now that I am going to bring on screen. Welcome, Greg, Midlife
Hey,
Card.
Greg.
Hey, guys. West Coast Card Show is pretty good. I got to say, it's pretty good. Way more vintage than I was told, way less Pokemon than I was told. It has been really fun. So I just wanted to give a little report on how this is going here. But there's some good stuff in the room. I did drop a video this morning. So after this is over, maybe check that out. But there's some good stuff here. Really good.
I saw your video, Greg, and congrats on the big pickup you got.
Oh, the trade. Oh, the Sitting Bull card. Yeah.
The trade and the Sitting Bull card.
Yeah, the trade was big. The Sitting Bull was cool. Couple other people in the community got some big stuff, but I'll wait for their channel to reveal that. We had a fun dinner last night.
Which Sitting Bull card did you get? I did not watch your video.
So that Native American set, that's Allen and Ginter 1888.
Oh, that's a good card.
Yeah, the two big cards are the Geronimo card and the Sitting Bull card. And this card walked up to a table and the guy did a trade for it. And then I immediately said, it's raw. I was like, what do you want for it? And he was like, I would do $250. If the card gets a 1.5, which it won't, it'll get a 1. But if it got a 1.5, it's like a $650 card. If it gets a 1, it's probably a $450 card. If it gets an authentic, it's a $300 card. So I was like, this is my affordable way to get this cool card.
All right. I was told to ask here by Peter B if you're now collecting Indians because he thought you were a Yankees fan.
That's actually pretty funny. No, I will. First of all, it's the Guardians. Everybody, we need to move on. I did use Native Americans. I am trying to be as good as I can. But I don't know. There are a lot of cool cards in that set. I mean, it's a beautiful set. I don't think I'm going to build it, but I'm not opposed to picking up more of them.
Well, Mookie had a great comment. Mookie said that Greg is full of bull.
Well, Mookie's full of a lot of something too, but I love Mookie, so I'll just kind of keep that between us. But I am meeting up with Mr. Mike Petty right now, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to hopefully my service will stay, and you can say hey to Petty real quick.
Well, we like Mookie. He's a fellow person like I am from New Jersey, so we like Mookie. He gets to go twice a month to one of the best card shows in the country, one of the best smaller card shows in the country, the Garfield card show, which is usually the first and third Sunday of any month, and it's really and it's supported the Boys and Girls Club for more than 30 years. And Gary's a really good guy that runs the show. And
all right, I got a Mike Petty. I got a Mike Petty sighting.
Rob and his team do a really good job running the show. They take it very seriously, and they know what collectors want.
I know.
Rob for his store. He
You're on
deals with
Hobby
authors
Hotline
every
right
day.
now.
Oh, come on.
You're on Hobby Hotline
What's
right
up
now.
there, guys?
Hey, Liver
Happy
Lips.
to see you, Orlando, for the
Hey,
West
Peter
Coast
Feet.
National. Oh, good to see you.
Be there.
All right. I should go. We're going to have breakfast. But you're right. The Garfield show is a really good show. Sammy goes a lot. Mookie goes a lot. I know Leighton was there a couple weeks ago. So those guys are lucky that they get to go to that. You're lucky that you get to go to that. I'm jealous.
I get the Dallas Card Show 6 times a year. Plus, we have some good local shows too. So I'm very lucky here too now.
Yeah.
15 years ago, we had 3 or 4 shows period a year. This is much better.
Oh yeah, yeah, and seriously about this West Coast Card Show, like I wasn't expecting much from the vintage part of it, but it's really good. It's been really fun, and there's a lot more dealers, and they're dealers that I don't know about. They only set up here, so it's like they're not national dealers. They're not guys on online selling stuff. They just kind of sell at this one show. And so it's been fun to kind of meet those guys and see their inventory. And 2 of those guys are who I tried to feature yesterday or this morning in my video, because people they're new to who a lot of people are used to seeing. Some of Ash's inventory, people are like, yeah, I know some of it, but these couple of guys, like they're like, I don't sell anywhere except for at this show. So I was like, well, let's show some of their stuff. So, anyways.
All right, one
Well,
last
thanks for letting
question
me hop
for you.
on.
A couple people have asked if the show is crowded.
Well, yesterday it wasn't that bad. And I'll tell you this, the aisles are really wide. Like the interior of the room, it's a very comfortable room. It's a very modern room. The aisles are super wide. So like, right at the entrance is CIA, Diamond Yard. George Diamond Yard is there. And we're just sitting there talking with him with a bunch of us around the table. And it's like moving through the room is really easy. Much wider aisles than even the National. So I wouldn't say it's crowded. And if it was crowded, or at least it wasn't yesterday, if it was crowded, you wouldn't feel it because they just lay out the room really well. And then all the way along the wall are all of like the corporate booths. So like Card Ladders here and ComC and Beckett and PSA, and they're all around there's no SGC, and they're all around the edge on the wall. And so it makes it easy to access those guys without there being like a corporate area that you've got to navigate. It's pretty cool. He did a really good job.
And to Rob and his team's credit, a few years ago, they had a show. I think it was the one in Anaheim where they put all the corporates on a separate floor. And Go ahead.
So years ago, I went to a big Anaheim show. It was like 1988 or 89. The Angels hosted the All-Star game that weekend. I think it was 89. And we came down because there was a huge show in the convention center. And that building's good too, but it's 2 floors. And this is like the perfect size. There's 2 rooms, but it kind of feels like one room. It's like the perfect size room. It's all on one floor. Like it's a good location. Like I was kind of like, why is he going all the way to Ontario? This is an hour and a half from Burbank. Like this is way southeast of Burbank. But then once you get in the room, you're like, it makes sense. It's a really good room. There's 4 or 5 hotels right across the street. Like we're walking across the parking lot, like literally next door to this DoubleTree that I'm in front of with these palm trees is literally across the parking lot from the convention center. And there are several hotels. Like I know Jeremy Lee was, I think, staying at the Sheraton, and there's like 4 or 5, like I can see right from where I'm sitting. There's 4 or 5, and they're nice, clean, they're good hotels. So like the elevators work and everything.
Well, to be honest, if you're in California and you're an hour and a half from Burbank to Ontario, you're going to get you can also get a totally different audience, because anybody who's ever driven in LA can tell you it's not fun. It is Saturday morning at 10 a.m. You'll still be in a traffic jam.
Yeah, it's insane down here, and they've got toll roads and stuff now. So hey, look at this guy. Look who it is.
What's up, fellas?
And Joe Perot.
Hey,
and
Tony
Joe
and Joe.
Perot.
Tony loves his baseball cards.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, I'm
You
gonna
guys.
go. I'm gonna keep the breakfast, and then we gotta enter the show at 10. So I'm gonna go. Thank you for letting me hop on. Love you guys. Everybody in the chat. Love you too. Even Mookie. So all right. I'm gonna go.
Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, guys.
All right. So it seems like a fun time. So, all right. Final nail, I think, on this first topic, though, is I'm just conjecturing. Some of the people are posting of like, stop sending in cheap cards. Honestly, with the volume they get, what percentage of their total submissions do you think are even lowercase collectors? I think it's less than 5%, and it's all people that are going to resell the cards. You guys think anything different?
I don't know the numbers, but if it stops people, frankly, from sending in 88 tops common cards, or in baseball or football, that's probably not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, but it's funny because a lot of those called junk wax cards, if you notice in PSA 10s, their values have gone up incredibly. And there just aren't many of them because people weren't sending. So I don't know, maybe people are beginning to send a lot more of those in, seeing that the values have gone up a lot on some of these, junk wax cards in PSA 10s.
And I don't think these price deltas 80s put any dent in the people trying to play the PSA 10 lottery game. So, but
and the other thing to consider is, will collectors ever go public? You do want to show a positive story to people, if and when the IPO comes in. And if you do that and you're able to show a constant increase in revenue, you will get more money in your IPO. So we have to look at it not just in terms of that, but in terms of the future as well. And it's something to always consider. I always tell people, think about this on a business level. I wish I could go back and get PSA cards for $8 each.
Yeah,
but that's not happening.
I would agree with 1 million Cubs here that people that are collectors that send in that stuff don't realize they're going to come back and get like a 7 or an 8 on their card that they've had since they were a kid. So, even though it was in its 9-pocket sleeve all these years. So, but, all right. Next topic is Topps 2026 release. And with that, the biggest news coming out of it is that they're putting what they have deemed the top 75 baseball cards as redemptions in the packs. And as far as how they deemed that, they put together a panel of folks here, which included none other than Hobby Hotline contributor right there, Dr. Beckett. So, as well as Nat Turner from the previous story. So, but if anybody is wondering what cards we're talking about, they do show them on the Topps website now. And these were deemed what they said were the top 10, which isn't the Skeens a 101, so I don't think that's a giveaway. But I'm guessing then
the Skeens is a giveaway. The ski, maybe not that specific card, but there is a Skeens giveaway card.
Oh, they're still giving away some sort of autographed special.
Yes, there is a Skeens giveaway. That is a Skeens giveaway card.
Okay.
Well, I looked at the checklist last night, and they're not giving away all of the cards from the top 75. A limited amount of them. You can go look at the checklist. It's like a 30-page checklist, and it says all the cards they're giving away, and it's not all 75. And the way they're doing it, of course, is all redemption. They're all going to be graded and slabbed. Of course, they don't mention what the grades are of the ones they're going to give away. But, what I've heard already yesterday, somebody already pulled the 52 Mays redemption. So that one's already gone. And we'll have to find out what grade that is, but they are graded cards that are going to be sent back to the person who pulled those.
All I got to say is that Aurelio Rodriguez, if you get that card, better be a very high grade, because that could be the lowest value card of the whole group.
Not if they're also including some of these 80s cards, including none other than the very special I saw when I scanned this earlier. Right there, future stars, Greg Jeffries.
Yeah.
So,
Good point. Okay, I'll accept that. Yeah, that's probably not even as good as a 69 last series card. Even if there is a really difficult to tell variation on the 89 Topps Greg Jeffries card of how the future stars notation is on the card, there's like a millimeters difference between where they are.
Yeah. Now they do have
a no
Frank
name
Thomas
on front, Frank Thomas. Yeah. That would be cool.
That's going to be there, yeah. And what I like about it is that, when they did the buybacks before, they used to have that stamp, that gold stamp on the cards. So, but these are going to be original cards with no stamp on them, and they're going to be slabbed. So, I guess that's a good thing. Even though a lot of people like my friend Shane Shoebox Legends loves the buybacks, but some
Orlando,
people want to see
love the buybacks.
Yeah, but
In
some
fact,
people want to see those as
thrilled.
original cards, as they were in the old days versus the stamp. But the buybacks are cool.
I bought two heritage packs at one of the wax stores the other day. And in the heritage pack, I got a Glenn Borgman stamped buyback card in 2025 heritage. And I was thrilled because for the people from New Jersey, if they look at the back of his card, Glenn Borgman was from Paterson, New Jersey. So all you people who go to the Garfield card show should be looking for his cards. That's not going to happen. He was a backup Twins catcher. But it was just a cool card to get out of the pack. And the thing is, there are so many 76 Topps cards out there that a card with a stamp on it has to be a much tougher card than a 76. And I think I put on the Net 54 boards, there is some value that I don't want the card stamped above. You just get the card. But, if it's Greg Jeffries, you stamp the card to your heart's content. It's going to make it worth $1 or $3 instead of the 10 cents or quarter it is. And it enhances the value for those people that collect those cards. So I'm okay with stamp cards, but I'm also okay with these cards not being close to being stamped. I don't want the 52 May stamped in any way.
Yeah, that was a comment Bo made. He doesn't want the 52 Mantle stamped. And of course, that would I don't know if it would reduce the value. It'd probably make it a 1 of 1, but you still don't want those iconic cards to be stamped.
All right, question out for the chat, just for fun. What's your favorite looking Topps card of all time? So, regardless of value, which one is your favorite Topps card? So, but is this adequate for a celebration? I mean, is it going to move the needle for these packs at all? I mean, I heard someone talking that when they had 91, they did a thing where you could win every Topps card of all time prior to that. So
at one time they had the Honus Wagner, where you could somebody actually won a Honus Wagner, and it was the Gretzky Wagner that they end up giving away, and it was a post lady, I think, that ended up, a postman won it and immediately sold it. But I do think it's a great idea. I mean, it's great to see most of these cards, over 50% are going to be opened up by breakers, which is really the norm now. And I'd like to see those breakers, share some of these vintage cards, and hopefully it will get some of these young guys to get more involved in vintage cards and want to go out and buy some vintage cards. So I think it's a good way to expose these new guys, these new breaker dudes to the vintage stuff. And there's also a lot of other things they're doing, John. They're also giving away tickets to different events. They're giving away tickets to the All-Star game, tickets to the World Series, all as redemptions. They're giving away also redemptions to Tops. I think a few $7,500 Tops credit, actually money, as Tops credits to buy Tops products. So and they're giving away a lot of different packages. Certain teams are doing, like the Pirates are doing a Pirates gift package, which involves tickets to the games and memorabilia and jerseys and things like that, also as redemptions. So it's not just the vintage cards that you could redeem for, but it's also kind of events and money if you get the credits for buying Tops products. So it's more than just the cards, which is a good thing. And if you look at the checklist, you'll see all the different giveaways that they're having there, not just the vintage cards.
Okay, a couple things. One, the person who did sell the Wagner card when she won it sold it because the tax issue. That was like, I got to pay the taxes on that card. I better sell that card and have money to pay the taxes. You can't do both. Unless you have a lot of money, then you can win it and
six-figure taxes on winning that, right? I mean, or at the time, how much was that card deemed worth?
That was the famed PSA card, which is now $10 million or more. I think Ken Kendrick still has it. I think he paid $3 million, but I think it's at least a $10 million card. I mean, that specific card has a book written about it, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And so in those days, it was like $600,000. So you're paying taxes on $600,000.
Which is still probably close to six figures, if not.
Yes.
Over.
Well, if you're on the 27% tax rate, it's $162,000.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. A little bit different times now because, these breakers, they're not paying taxes on the cards that are being pulled out of packs, So that one, because it was a whole national thing, it was all over the news. But whoever pulls this 52 Mantle, I don't see them paying any tax on that, even though it's kind of a lottery win, almost like winning the lotto.
Well, I know Chris Harris is in the audience. He can, since he's worked for the government, he can probably tell us more officially than you and I on that. But I bet you still should have to pay your tax on it. But that's just my opinion.
It does seem like it's too high profile for the government to not go for some money attached to that.
Hey, the government will go for money on just about anything.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. I opened a blaster. I went to my local wax card store, which is down the block, maybe 5 minutes from my house. And on Thursday, I bought a blaster box because it's like, okay, I'm going to be out and about anyway for a few minutes. Let me buy a blaster box. It's opening day. It'll get my 2026 Tops Jones taken care of. The cards are really attractive. They're easy to read. At a certain age, you want cards that are readable. 2021 Tops, I think, was not readable front or back. The name wasn't really readable, and the card number wasn't really readable. You want one or the other. That had 0 for 2. They're both readable. They did a really good job. The design looks nice. I'm a fan of the design. And I'm a fan of how readable everything is. And they did the same thing with Flagship Basketball. It was very readable. And so that was, And as that, and I pulled even a card number to 25. It was a leader card, nobody great, no Judge or Shohei on the card, but a decent enough leaders card. But I was very happy out of a blaster box getting a card number to 25.
That's great. Oh, we did get a few responses to my query with the people having a prettiest card. Melissa loves the 52 Mantle. I know that's a favorite of yours, Orlando. It cometh an egg. The interesting response of 82 Tops Brian Downing, which made me then go straight to Google. So there we go. That is.
You know, Brian Downing lives in the DFW area now. When he ended his career with the Rangers, he liked this area so much, he moved here.
All right, fun fact. Then we've got a 59 Mutual. That's a nice looking card with the blue border on that one, isn't it? Of Stan. What else we've got? Anybody else put something out here? I'm not seeing it. All right. So do either of you guys still buy the packs? Oh, yep, there is the. Thanks, Orlando.
There's the 59 usual.
Yep.
Yeah, as I pointed out, I did buy a blaster box, and next week will be the Topps Rip Night. So I'm sure I'll be getting some more Top stuff next week. The stores they have a little party and we can talk about that next week. That'll be a topic for next week, but they do have Topps Rip Night next Saturday, which is always a fun event. Topps gets store stuff, and the stores do have to pay for it in a lot of cases, but there's stuff Topps gets to the stores. And there's prizes that they also send. And it becomes like a communal event, and it's a lot of fun. And there's usually, depending on the store, pizza or other foods and drinks. And you get in the previous years, I've gotten a blaster box when you walk in the door, and you're with other collectors. And I think that's a great thing to do. So I know next week I'll be doing that. And in fact, next week I have a doubleheader of the second biggest local Dallas area card show, the NTX card show, will be next Saturday and Sunday, and then I will go to Rip Night. So that's a great card, by the way. Even if it's scored, the black and white bow is a great card.
Yeah. So
my favorite Topps card of all time isn't a baseball card, and I double clicked on it to make sure I was right. And you can pull it up. For whatever reason, I just love the design. It's a basketball card from a team I can't stand, of a really minor player who had one brief moment of fame because he played really well in a 3 overtime NBA Finals game. And so I'm going to have you pull it up to show. Okay. 75-76 Topps Phil Hankinson card. For whatever reason, that card just strikes me as like the perfect, and it's a post shot. It's not an action or anything, but it just struck me as one of the prettiest cards I've ever seen in my life.
Spelling on that last name?
Hankinson, Hankinson.
Okay.
It's a basketball card for those.
Okay. All right, let's share again. Is that the right one?
That's the right one.
Okay. That's a different, what is he standing in front of?
That's the point. It's such a cool design and a cool background and everything. And, it's nothing. It's a common card.
Yeah.
It's a pure common card. But it's my favorite card. It's my favorite card I've ever seen.
All right.
And there shouldn't be any reason for that. I'm a Knicks fan.
Okay, we've also got a 96 score of Bip Roberts from Stale Gum, but let's check out what the special.
Oh, that's a cool card.
As far as my personal favorite Topps card, I think it's still 1960 Eddie Matthews. So
Mine is the 53 Mickey Mantle, the 53 Topps.
I assume you mean, do you mean the Bowman or the Topps?
Mine, the Topps.
Okay. They're both really pretty cards.
They're both, yeah.
Both Bowman and Topps and 53 are really pretty cards.
Yeah.
You know who else is 53? You know who else had his 53 Topps as his favorite card?
Oh, that's a great card.
That is a great card. But you know who else's favorite card was a 53 Mantle? Al Rosen, the baseball card dealer.
I didn't know
it was
that.
like the one card he kept for himself.
Oh, the Mr. Mint?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's a fun little topic.
65 Topps Veda Pinson. I'm going to look at that too, because that just sounds like a... That is a cool card. I agree with him. That's a nice smile on the book.
Oh yeah, that's great. So yeah, he's got some really good, nice, natural smile faces on a few cards. I saw someone show something that was a larger sized. I don't know if it was a team photo pack or something that had a similar, really nice, natural smile from him. So.
You know who else smiled on every one of his cards? Dave Henderson.
Oh yeah, and he had the interesting with the little gap tooth thing going.
And if you ever look at almost every one of Dave Henderson's cards, he's smiling on.
But all right, we're getting all kinds of extra submissions now. I'm seeing 64 Topps Race Sadecki. Not familiar with that one either.
Look at the background on the Sadecki card, and you'll see why it's a favorite.
All right. Oh, okay. An abbreviated ad right there in the background. All right, nice. And 80 Topps Gary Carter. I've got that one over on my wall with him in a cloud of dust. So that's a great pick. 77 Charlie Angels. Okay. I wonder why he likes that one.
She's very pretty.
67 Ernie Banks. That's one of his great smiling cards. Yeah, great choice there. And the 58 Topps.
Oh no, come on, Andy.
58 Topps to me is like the worst set of the 50s. And to Topps' credit, when they did Heritage in 2007 and did that set, it looks so much nicer. You know, they were able to use, that was a set where modern technology really improved a card compared to the original. You know, and I don't always say that, but that's one where the modern technology saved the cards.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, it's slowing down in the chat. Thanks for all the interaction. This is a fun little game here, pulling up these cards. So moving on to our last topic, Chris from Missouri had a recent video that stirred some conversation around where I think his title was something to the effect of how long can we keep doing this? And it had to do with, you know, an exit from the hobby? Like how long are you just going to own a massive hoard of cards? Are you going to consolidate? Are you going to liquidate? What, as you get older and your concern might be leaving behind something that is overbearing for your children or your spouse, what are people's thoughts on that situation? Does it even cross your mind? Do you just like live for the now and forget it? Or, Orlando, I know you have been a consolidator. What was going through your mind of, what was the reason why? Was it just because so you could acquire big things you couldn't before, or were you really paring it down for your family too? I mean, what's the thought process there?
Well, I mean, I gotta also say that Mangini put out a video about that, and John Wade Boggs fan put a video out on that. But for me, no, I am paring down, consolidating, as they say, but it's not due to anything. But for me, it's the only way that I can get certain cards that I really wanted. Now that I'm retired and living off Social Security, it's not like I can go out there and buy a Ty Cobb card, like this. The only way I could have gotten this card, which I got at Strongsville, was to pare down my collection and sell some of the stuff that I already had, because I couldn't save up for something like that. And as I get older, I've always wanted to have cards that I could never acquire. And because I have such a large collection, it's an opportunity for me to go ahead and use that to kind of, I guess it's an exit strategy, consolidating. I also don't want to leave tons of stuff for my family, but it's not like I'm going to stop collecting. I'm going to collect for the rest of my life until I pass away. I mean, it's a G for me. I have the collecting G. Many of us have that, and it's not like we're going to stop all of a sudden collecting. So for me, it's more the consolidation process is more using my inventory to buy stuff that I've always wanted but never been able to afford and never been able to get. And as I get older, I'll be 70 years old this year, I want to get it before I die. So I can't just save up and get a Hollis Wagner or a Ty Cobb or a Cracker Jack, Joe Jackson and stuff like that. So, but I do have, 2 closets full of cards and a bunch of cards in my garage that, are sitting in boxes, sitting in tubs. And I'm going to use that to get cards I've always wanted. So for me, it's not that I'm still going to leave thousands of cards to my family, no matter what, but I'm going to use that to my advantage now and sell cards that I don't truly love, that I like, but don't truly love, to get cards that I really loved and I've always wanted all my life. So that's just the change that I did, but it's not really because I'm don't want to, because I'm dying or anything like that. It's more because I want to use it to get the cards that I've always wanted in my life and never been able to afford.
Thanks for going into that detail, Orlando. Rich, have you...
About 3 years ago, I sold out my inventory at a card show.
Oh.
The last 2 years, I've sold my inventory now 4 total times. I buy, as like Orlando says, I have fun, and then I just sell it. And it's fine for me. I just like looking at cards. It's fun to see the cards I have. I'm looking at them right now. And right now I have 2 shoe boxes, 2 3-row shoe boxes. And that's what I got. And I have other stuff just lying on the floor. In fact, one of my friends came over to help me declutter. And there were a couple of things. And I told him, I told him on Thursday, just take them. They're not card related. I said, just take them. And this way, if, something happened to me tomorrow, my wife doesn't have to deal with it. It's, the less I have in the house, the better I feel.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to saddle somebody else with what I would know what to do. And so your exits, you have to think about what your own exit strategy is. And, there's a lot of people that talk about, I'm going to do this till I pass. But you have to think about everybody else. I mean, how often do you hear about people finding hoards nowadays because nobody ever wanted to deal with it? And it's a tricky thing, I know Dr. Beckett talks about trying to reduce by 1 or 2% a month. Well, so that gives him 8 years to finish the job. And actually buying stuff helps him reduce his inventory because then he can make bigger eBay lots or bigger team lots. So you can actually do that. But you have to know your own plan. And your own plan is what you decide you want it to be. Orlando, it sounds like, you have your game plan going. And, thankfully you're healthier this year, but you had a health scare last year. If that had been more serious, you would have really had some serious discussions about what to do.
Right. Yeah, I would be selling off a lot more, but I'm still consolidating because it does get overwhelming at some point. You just can't keep it all. You just don't look at it all. And it just gets to a point where, as you get older, you'll realize that, you can't go through that closet and take a look at all those 5,000 boxes that you have stuck in there. You got to find a way to start moving those and getting some of the stuff that you've always wanted in life, So that's my process. But yeah, eventually I'm going to continue like Dr. Beckett, maybe, cut down 5% of my collection every year. And, but use that to, kind of, I guess, more quality versus quantity is what I'm trying to achieve.
And then when the time comes, your wife or your kids can have a very basic, easy thing to do that's easy for them to buy and sell, or to sell and say, okay, this will help my kids' education. And as an inheritance, that's one thing they don't have to worry about the taxes on. Because if they do it as an inheritance, it's like, okay, I've made X thousands and you're okay.
Yeah. And I've written down a list of what to do with my cards. There's a couple of auction houses they can send them to, and there's some hobby friends that they can contact to help liquidate some of my collection eventually. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
We sure hope good, Orlando. Healthy, we sure hope not.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty much almost back to normal from my cancer issue.
Well,
your thoughts, John?
I have re-entered this only 5 years ago, and I came with having a limited space where I could even store my cards. And I entered it with the approach of, I don't want to buy anything and put it in a box. So I am already doing a more limited collection, and everything I buy goes into a case on the wall behind me, which I only have this into the bedroom with 7 of these cases on it, or
so that's your entire collection.
That's my entire graded collection of vintage that I am working on, is in 8 cases that fit 30 cards. So my basic instructions, if anything happens to me, is all the graded cards go in one box to CIA at this point. And you can put a next door ad with all the junk wax stuff I brought from as a kid and give it away to somebody free on like Nextdoor app or whatever is the current communication app of that style, because it's not worth sorting through. So, yeah, so I already have a far more consolidated collection than most people try to do. So, but I am not a person that is not buying everything without a specific intentionality, almost laser focused, plan everything before I buy it. So
That's the one problem with value boxes. You can't be laser focused when you hit a value box.
yeah, and I don't hit value boxes.
In the value boxes, you have to be somewhat flexible within the value boxes.
Because my only goal that I'm working on is one card of playing days of every MLB Hall of Famer. Outside of that, I just have a few little pet things that don't even completely fill one of the cases right now. So,
how many cards fit in each of your cases on the wall?
with the SGC holders, 30.
So you have 8 cases. You can barely get one of each Hall of Famer's playing cards. You might not even be able to get every Hall of Famer who is a player.
No, the list is 275 right now. So
you're dealing with 275 out of 240. You can decide which 35 Hall of Famers you don't want to put on your wall.
Well, there's the 20-something Negro Leaguers that never really even got a playing days card, so those are kind of impossible. There's some guys in the 19th century that I don't know if I'll ever bother with.
So you've got a fighting chance of, at least with certain parameters, getting everybody you want.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, you'll get Andrew Jones this year. You'll get Carlos Beltran this year. You'll get Jeff Kent this year, none of which should really set you back a whole bunch of money. You already got them. Okay.
Because I don't do rookie cards, so it makes it super cheap for those guys. So,
yeah, as you can see, everybody collects different, from Rich going through dollar boxes, and, me going a little more of the high-end cards, and John going to non-rookie cards. So, my advice, guys, is just collect, like they always say, collect what you like. What Chris from Missouri says, just collect what you like. It's your collection. You're the one that needs to enjoy it while you're alive. Yeah, you worry a little bit about what you're going to leave behind. But I think overall, enjoy it. Enjoy the hobby. Enjoy your collection. And I think that's the best advice I can give you guys. Don't worry. When you're dead, and your family eventually will sell it. But, you need to enjoy it. And for me, the hobby is a way to reduce stress and to enjoy life. I mean, it's been my life most of my life. So it's the way that, you just enjoy your cards, guys. And if you want to hoard cards and have a huge collection like Mangini, that's great. If you want to just, have a smaller collection like Uncle Rich, that's great also. Everybody collects different. But so my advice is enjoy the hobby, let it reduce your stress. So hopefully you can live longer and collect for a longer period of time.
Yeah, my wife already has enough hoarded scrapbooking supplies, so one hoard in the house is enough. So, all right, I think we're about wrapped up. What's on your guys' future agenda? Anything to share with the folks?
Well, I just did an interview. We were talking about Veda Pinson with Pinson to Flood. It was posted yesterday. You want to go back and look at that to give him a little bit of a subscription if you don't subscribe to Adam at Pinson to Flood. And I'll just be going to the next show here in Fort Lauderdale, which will be the first week of every month. So if anybody is in the Fort Lauderdale, South Florida area, come and join us. It's a pretty good, small show, but it's a good show. And looking forward to a strong dependence or independence, I guess. That's really the big thing that I'm looking forward to. And I just, vote. The next thing is vote for the YouTube Sports Cars Hall of Fame. Those guys that do content, I encourage you to vote. It means so much for the people that, even if you don't get voted in, just by hearing your name be announced by other content creators that appreciate what you've done, it's a huge lift to all these guys out there. I wish I could have voted for more people. So sorry to the guys I didn't vote for, but I think everybody that can vote, that's been doing YouTube content for a year, needs to go out there and vote. Give some shout outs to the other guys out there. It means so much to everybody. So that's the last thing I got to say on that. And I voted for you, John.
Thank you, Orlando. But yeah, that's one of the hardest paring down lists of the entire year of anything. So it's very difficult. But Rich, any last thoughts?
Well, next week, as I pointed out, I'll be going to the NTX card show and then to the Topps Rip Night. And the following week, there's a smaller Dallas card show by DFW Airport, which is free admission and kind of nice to go to. So I've got lots of hobby just to finish the month of February. And then next month, there's the big Dallas card show. And there's and it's really cool. And I'm sure I'll be playing. I did tape 5 podcasts with Dr. Beckett yesterday. So you'll hear me on a bunch of those, which will be fun. We even touched on the Topps quote leak about the meetings Mr. Rubin and his team had with some of the bigger people at the National. And we discussed that in a totally different way because both of us have been hobby corporates. So we can discuss that as corporates rather than, the world is coming to the end people. So I'll give you a heads up on that. And basically, I'll just keep hobbying and we'll go from there.
All right. Thanks, Rich. I've got another front row card show coming to the Oregon Convention Center in Portland at the end of this month. Hopefully, I'll be able to hang out with Adam from Vintage Sanctuary, as well as another friend who connected with us who doesn't have a channel. But outside of that, then it's going to Strongsville with you there, Orlando. So. Which, I'm sure people have heard by now. There's going to be a YouTuber hanging out on the Friday night of that at the Embassy Suites Hotel. And then we at Four Collectors are hosting another trade night that's going to be at the Holiday Inn. So should be an awesome time. So, but yeah, everybody, I think this is another show in the books. So thank you very much to the chat. Thanks, Rich and Orlando. And we'll see you next time here on Hobby Hotline and Four Collectors.